It's good to have you stay with us here on Breakfast Central. Let's go straight into our very first top story. 2 months after President Bola Tinubu approved the release of withheld full-month salaries for Nigerian lecturers, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, said its members are yet to receive the salaries. ASUU President Professor Emmanuel Osodeke said most of its demands that the Nigerian government claims to have met are yet to be implemented.
Now, recall that President Tinubu had in October approved the release of 4 of the 8 months withheld salaries of the workers. The salaries were withheld when the former administration of Muhammadu Buhari invoked a no-work, no-pay policy against some university-based unions that embarked on a strike that lasted 8 months in 2022. Joining us this morning to further discuss this is ASUU President Professor Emmanuel Osodeke. Good morning and thank you for joining us, and Happy New Year from all of us to you.
Thank you very much and good morning.
All right, it's not looking very happy with ASUU. We would like you to give us an update. We're hearing various reports. The president is saying that it's approved the payment of 4 out of 8 months of the salaries owed, and we're hearing as well that salaries have not been paid. So what exactly is the true position, sir?
Well, the true position is what you have just said. We are not aware, nobody has been paid. Actually, not even communication to the union. There's nothing, no communication, nobody has been paid, nothing. It's just the way it was. Meanwhile, if you go around the universities, and like I keep on saying that our press, our people, the journalists, to do investigate journalism, when you go there, every university in Nigeria are on the 2023-2024 session. So we almost cover up all the background of what was lost during the strike. And you can go and check. And how did we do that? Our member made sacrifices. This is the only year I have been in the system for more than 30 years. This is the only year where no university is closed. You can go and check.
So,
universities.
Professor Osodeke, are you saying that lecturers have been working and yet during the festive season, no one has received any salaries to be able to take care of themselves and their families?
No, what they paid is normal December salary, but actually 8 months backlog for the so-called no work, no pay. Now members have done the work, and you can check. People made sacrifices. None of the lecturers in the past 2 years have gone on leave, so that we can meet up the background of what was lost. But strange enough, we thought that with this regime, for having a smooth, flawless system, that all the back issues will be resolved as quickly as possible, so that we can move on. The system can move on. But from what we are seeing, nothing has been done about all the issues, concretely done on all the issues for which we were on strike. And the outcome, the consequences of being on that strike, nothing has been done to remedy them.
Very tough one. But then again, any of the professors that we've spoken to so far so good has also mentioned of looking forward to see what 2024 would present. Don't you think that maybe now that the appropriation bill has been signed into law, these payments will be made? And let me also ask you what your thoughts are on the current administration supporting what ASUU has been indeed pushing for a long while.
Well, thank you. For us, all the things we are asking for, we are in last year appropriation, last year budget. Wage increase was there last year budget. Payment of academic allowance was last year budget. List of 170 million naira for revitalization of university were in last year budget. But none was implemented. You can check, it's in the budget of last year. So if all those were in last year budget and they were not implemented, so which hope do we have in what we have?
Mr. Osodeke, their network a bit shaky, yeah, but then again...
Okay, please go ahead.
We normally base our decision on the past. It is what you do in the past that gives confidence in what you are going to do in the future. But if all those things were in last year's budget and copies were given to us by the speaker at the end of the House of Representatives, and none of them was implemented, so how are we sure that the one of this year will be implemented? So that is why when you see ASUU, before we take any decision to go on strike or any issue, we will evaluate all the issues. And what are these issues? Revitalization of Nigerian university to bring at same level with other universities around the world, which we signed an agreement with the government in 2013, and only one tranche was released. One major, to others have been responsible for bids. Two, the issue of negotiation of ASUU and federal government. The salary we are earning was what was approved in 2009, when the exchange rate was less than 200 naira to a dollar. Today, what is the exchange rate? More than 1,000 naira. But we are still earning that same salary. Professors still go between 300 and 400,000 naira a month at this level. So those are some of the issues. We also look at the issue of autonomy, where they have mentioned it. We hope it will be also implemented. So those are the issues for which we are on strike. And academic allowance, and it's even worse now. Before we went on strike, last strike, when you go to university, we have more than 100,000 lecturers in Nigerian federal universities, Nigerian universities. But the way you go, more than 20 to 30% have left the country, which means those remaining are not doing the job that about the 100 lecturers were doing. So, and the allowances, that allowance has not been paid, have been more or less jettisoned. So those are the issues that are brewing, and we do hope and we pray that this regime will tackle this issue as quickly as possible to avoid another disruption in the system. Nobody wants to see destruction in the system, but government must do its part. The negotiation, we have negotiated with 3 government teams, reached an agreement with 2 for signing, and nothing happened. And since this regime came in about 6 months ago, that this issue of negotiation has not been mentioned, not even mentioned.
So are you losing confidence in this administration being able to broker peace and be able to fulfill the terms of the agreement? Because you're saying, I mean, since they came into power, you're not really hearing them speak much about it. So would you say that you have confidence that this current administration would be able to carry out the terms agreed? And should nothing be done about it in the next month or 2 or 3, what would be the next steps of ASUU?
Thank you very much. We do hope, because, and I must say it, this president did intervene when we were in the last strike. We met with him a number of times when we were on strike. We thought that now having come in, we should go to have a meeting with him. But even our letter, everything, none have been responded to. The minister, well, from what we have seen, the minister is trying his best, but it doesn't seem to be working within the ministries. If the president said, I approve 4 months' salary to be paid to the workers in September, and we're now in January, and that money has not been paid, which means something is up. If the president approved wage increase of 27%, 25%, and 30% for professors in September, and we're in January, and no concrete things being done, so it will lose. It seems to be demoralizing our members. So we do hope that we're in January, and that this issue should be tackled as quickly as possible.
All right. I'd like us to touch on another issue, which is, of course, the budgetary allocation to education, the 2024 budget. Now, education is the second highest, right after defense and security. But if I recall properly, you have mentioned that not enough has been allocated to education. So talk to us about that, and what differences you would like to see.
Thank you very much. Check the allocation to education. What is the percentage in relation to the budget? What is the percentage? It's about 5 to 7%. If you remove tech fund money from it, it's about 5 to 7%. So what have been the same trend? So if you look at the quantum, yes, there's a quantum, but what has happened to the exchange rate? What has happened to the cost of living? What has happened to the cost of buying diesel? Because every university runs on diesel. What will be the cost? And so forth and so on. Really, for me, nothing significant has changed. We expect to see percentage increase, not quantum, because that is based on the volume of budget. This year, this is the highest. This is, I think, one of the biggest budget this country ever had. So if you say you are giving whatever 7% of thereabout, I don't think that has changed anything based on what we have in the past. But let me talk about 3 states. Take Enugu State. The state budgeted, from what we saw, about 30% of the budget to education. Go to C and Abia State, the governors budgeted about 21% of the budget to education. Or your state, I think about 16 to 20% to education. These are significant increase, and we do hope to implement it. They are very significant, but federal government, what do you have? From the past average of about 8 to say about 7 point something, which means the same. So we expect the federal government to do exactly what the state have done.
All right, you've talked about the percentage. I think with what you've said, Mr. Osodeke, you're also looking at what was consistent in the past and how the Forex especially has indeed affected prices and changes. So an expectation is coming from ASUU, especially in line with the government, to also make adjustments because of the prices that has indeed changed from your statement so far. That's what I kind of use. But let's also look at the fact that the government has come out through the Minister for Education. I'm talking about the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, who's also a professor like yourself. That is Tahir Maman. He's promised that in line with what the president has said, he's saying that there's an increase. There's an increase with the university workers. They have a salary of 35% for professors. Do you want to shed more light on that?
That you see, as academics and as workers, in line with ILO policy, it's not what we want. We want negotiated salary. It should be a negotiated salary, not award. But if you have given award, that is good. Thank you very much. But there have to be a negotiation based on the reality of ground. That is the idea of negotiation, and that's the ILO policy, which we are a signatory to. There had to be, and we have started doing this in 2017. And when we reach an agreement, it will fail on the part of government. We reach an agreement, it will fail. We want to thank them for the award, but which we have not seen anyway. And I said this is the fourth month now since the award was announced. We have not seen it. But we believe that the best way to go, and in line with what happened in this country from the 60s to today, you can check the history from Michael Emodi to today, salaries are negotiated. In academics, from the era of Babangida and co, up to today, salaries of academics are negotiated. So let's sit down and negotiate a realistic salary that will ensure that our lecturers don't run away, to ensure that we can attract lecturers from all over the world, and the condition of service. There have to be a collective bargaining to reach an agreement in the interest of the country. Award is an award, it's a dash. So no problem to have a salary negotiated and condition of service negotiated for the university system.
All right.
And that's what we are proposing.
Okay, thank you for giving us that update. I'd also like to find out the update. We know that Tahir Maman has approved that universities be removed from the IPPIS. How's that going? What does this mean for lecturers? And on a final note, also give us some insight into how the student loan, the update with the student loan.
Well, on the IPPIS, we must commend the government. We were removed from it as announced by the Federal Executive Council, which is commendable. This is what we have been talking about since we were forced into it in 2020. And that has caused this union, this country, a lot of goodwill. And I give an example, virtually all the foreign lecturers who were here have left because that platform didn't recognize them. That have strangled the universities. That has ensured that some of those who would have loved to come to this country didn't come. And people's salaries have been so mutilated. The professor will end up, there's people who actually earn 15,000 naira a month, and today those issues have not been resolved. Wage, minimum wage adjustment of 2019. More than a number of my universities, a large number of colleagues have not been paid by this platform, and you can manage that hardship that this platform has released. So we must commend this government for removing ASUU, but we want to see concrete evidence of the next step. We thought it's going to be immediate effect, but they say it's with effect from January. So we do hope that with effect from January, every university will be run by the governing council as indicated in the law, the Miscellaneous Act. That is the way to go. Every university should pay salary. And when they talk about abuse and whatever, I think it's very easy. Every year, the vice chancellors go to the National Assembly to defend their budget. In that budget, they should indicate those they will employ, they should indicate the staff they have, and they are interrogated by National Assembly, and that budget is approved for that university. Once it is approved, that budget is signed into law by the president, and therefore, how a university should be assessed is how that budget was implemented, not who pays salary from my piece or whatever. So if any lecturer, if any vice chancellor go above the number of people that we're going to employ during the defense of the budget, such a vice chancellor should be punished. But to say you are punishing the system because all this issue, corruption and what have you, with the budgetary system,
All right.
different budget, that will solve this problem.
Professor Osodeke, we thank you very much for your time with us. There's so many conversations we'd like to have, for example, the student loan and several other areas to look at, but we'd love to have you join us back again. But thank you for your time with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.